But let's move on to a little bit of baseball. And Big Papi, David Ortiz, had a strong comment, Rob, about today's game. Rob G's going to read it for us. And tell us where he said this, Rob G.
Yeah, he did an interview with the Boston Globe. And in a fuller context, he was complaining that hitters in today's game emphasize the home run too much. And as a result, it's making the game very difficult for him to watch. Here's what he said, quote, "To me, it's messed up. The game has changed a lot. Coaches only want kids to hit home runs, and that's all they practice because they want to get paid." He also added later that the game has become about just strikeouts and home runs, which to him is, quote, boring, end quote.
I'm going to say right here, I second Big Papi. I'm not even going to sit here and try to sugarcoat it, Chris, the style of the game and what's happened. It's just not enough action on the base pass, stealing, hit and run, double in the corner, Chris. A guy's racing around third, right?
Yep.
Throw to the plate. It just, there was action, more action. I get the home runs. I'm not against home runs, so I'm not sitting here and saying that. But I don't want it to be a swings and misses or a connection for a long ball only. I think that's why, Chris, who's the biggest star in the game right now and has the swag? Tatis Jr. He's not just a home run hitter, Chris. He plays defense. He steals bases, right? Doubles, all kinds of stuff. He's a complete player. Action on the base pass. Love watching that guy play. As soon as I can get down to San Diego and take the train down there and watch him in person, I'm there. I want to see more players like that.
I agree with you, Rob. You said it all. I mean, when I remember coming up, you stolen bases.
Yes.
Hit and run. You mentioned hit and run, manufacturing runs. And I'm going to throw this out there, too. And this, I don't know if we'll ever get this back.
Bunting?
Well, yeah, I wasn't thinking about that.
Okay,
but yes, bunting to me, it's a legitimate part of the game.
No doubt.
But I was going to say complete games.
Yes.
I mean, now.
We saw that.
Now it's like if you go 5 innings, Rob, that's good. That's all they're asking from you. And if a guy's rolling, I'd like to see. I used to love seeing a pitcher have it going and pitch a complete game.
Chris, what do we see in the World Series when Blake Snell is pulled out of the game?
Perfect example. Yep.
Right?
Yep. Perfect example.
He's pitching well. 5 2/3. Oh, wait a minute. We got to take him out because, the third time around, the batting average goes up. Let's put somebody else in. Let's put in a guy, Chris, who had been getting tattooed all postseason. Let's put him in. Because
that's why, Rob, I was in favor of something like a 4-pitch rule or, pitcher rule, something where you just can't, have 7, 8 guys. I know there's problems there because if you go in extra innings or, you just need to get a guy out. But something, because it's just too much specialization. And I think the thing with analytics, and it's not just baseball, basketball, that's why the three-pointer. I mean, now half the shots for some teams are 3-pointers now.
Chris, what was the game?
It's only going to keep increasing.
What was the game the other day where they had 83 3-pointers? Do you remember what game was that?
Was that one team? That
in the game? No. In the game,
that's not uncommon to see.
It was
80,
like
that's
80,
a lot.
It was like 83. Rob G, do you remember what game I'm talking about? There was a recent game, and I remember.
But you have a couple of teams in the league that average about 40 3-point attempts. So I believe you do. So yeah, I could see that happening, but. Analytics, and this isn't going to happen in basketball because of the nature of the game. But, Rob, one thing, and sports have to be concerned about this. Analytics can take away star power in your sport, particularly baseball, in that if you mentioned pitchers. I mean, how long before the analytics essentially take away the starting pitcher? Right? Where you pitch a guy for 2 innings.
Right.
And then you go with 8 or 9 pitchers,
Well, remember they call it the opener now. He's the opener, Chris. He's not the starter. He's the opener.
Right. And then so when Billy Beanball and all that, I mean, that glorified the walk. which obviously has value, but, batting averages aren't as important and strikeouts don't matter and all that stuff. That can take away stars, and now you just got a bunch of role players who are, like robots out there. They're just assets and getting on base and getting walked, and nobody's really shining. I'm overstating it.
No, I know, but I know what you mean.
But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then even in football, we've seen it with the running back.
Right, the running back
it used to be you had one ball carrier, one bell cow, right? Now, very few teams are like that.
Yep.
So you got a couple guys sharing, right? And neither one's a star.
The analytics have changed sports, and it's mind-boggling with it. Three-pointers in basketball, the passing on every down, Chris. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's where we are now. And strikeouts or home runs in baseball. That's where we are. It's across the board. It's not one sport. And I just think that I don't like it. I just would rather there be a little more action. It's okay. I'd love to see a double and a single to score a run, Chris. It don't have to be a home run. How about
because you said there's action.
Yeah, there's action going on.
If it's all home runs, what is that? 4
times a game that you're jumping up. Right.
I mean, come on. It's got to be more than that. And the interesting thing, Robin, a lot of the analytics guys, not that you have to be a great athlete to know a sport.
No, but I know what you're going to say.
You know what I mean? They didn't play a lot of them at any level. They're just kind of stat geeks and math nerds and, guys that know the numbers and the science, but they don't know the game. And I think that's an issue, too, because they don't care about what you just said. They just care about the bottom line of, are we going to win? And for the record, Rob, we know this in baseball, that's not winning you championships.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to say, when I think of two teams, Chris, that are analytics driven more than any teams, Oakland A's, Tampa Bay Rays. How many championships they got, Chris?
Thank you.
0-0. And
Oakland
then don't
won
tell
a
me
few before analytics.
Well, the Red Sox, right before. I mean, the Oakland A's won 3 World Series in a row in the 70s. They had a great team.
Right.
But I'm talking about, and don't say, well, the Red Sox and the Yankees use it. Not to this extreme is what we're talking about. The Red Sox, when they won the World Series, they used analytics, Chris, but they had the highest payroll in baseball.
Right.
They had stars.
And they had a balance, too.
Yes.
They still had a balance. And the Yankees have had these great regular seasons, which
can't win in the
analytics may
playoffs.
help you in, right?
Yep.
But it doesn't translate to the playoffs. So, I'm with you. I agree with Big Papi. I don't know. I know what the answer is, but I don't know if these teams will do it. Maybe some of these analytics guys, Rob, they impress the owners. They really do. They speak their language. They can show them charts and graphics for what they're saying. And that's what these owners can relate to, because that's what happens in their other businesses. So these are the guys that get the jobs. But Papi had a point. Let's hear what these people got to say, Rob.
No doubt about it. Let's start with John in North Carolina. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, John?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Doing good.
Man. How are you?
Good, except they're killing the game I love, man. I grew up playing baseball.
Yes,
and
I'm with you.
It's so boring anymore. I absolutely agree with Papi. And, as a player, my favorite part of the game was you would work different sides of the field to watch the infield move to one side or the outfield move to a different side. You had bunters, people that were known for bunting, where they would play shorter, and you would try to work the field to get a double or a triple and be able to steal bases. I feel like,
you know what?
Let
me say this too, Chris. We forgot this. The shifting, the overshifting has taken all the hits out of the game.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's why, there was talk a few years ago, wasn't it, about outlawing the shift?
They should it's overdone. They've studied everything. They know where you hit the ball, Chris, 90% of the time. They move the infielders around, and they take you out of getting hits, and I think that's hurt the game as well. The shift should be outlawed.
And, Rob, that also diminishes your players.
Yes.
Because a person just watching the game, say a casual fan, is obviously in their mind thinking, why don't you just hit it to
The other
left
way.
field
Right.
or the other way, right? Whatever. And it's not that easy.
It ain't that easy.
You know,
It
but
ain't.
it makes your players look worse than they actually are. Because
the shift has not been good for
no,
baseball.
not at all. But that's a
we didn't
purely
bring that up.
analytics thing.
Yep.
Purely analytics.
Albert in Riverside, California. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. I'm not surprised. I know Albert's a big baseball fan. What's up?
I already know, Rob. Baseball's almost here.
Yes, sir.
Excited.
Spring training. We love it.
Yes, sir. All right. I agree with Papi big time, man. Like, look, the home runs, it's getting too ridiculous. Like, I used to love the stolen bases back in the day. You know, like when the guy would be on first base, the energy would rise up during the playoffs. And you'll see if the guy would take off or not, and there'll be more pressure on the pitcher and the contact guys, like and all that. But now it's just a home run hitting contest, and it doesn't work. Like in the playoffs, it doesn't work because it's all analytics. It's all trying to swing for the fences. Too many strikeouts. Like, you got to put the ball in play. Like the teams that win are the ones that put the ball in play, and it's just getting ridiculous with that.
Think about this, Albert. A player like Ricky Henderson, who was a unbelievable all-around player, Chris, stealing bases, hitting leadoff home runs, hitting for average, a Hall of Famer doing that.
Yep.
He didn't hit 50 home runs.
I think the league leader, I can't remember which league it was. Check it out, Rob G. But I think one of the leagues last year, it was you look at the stolen bases, and the guys that lead are a lot lower. I know last year was only 60 games, but you know what I mean? Like, Ricky Henderson was stealing 100 bases.
Was stealing 100 bases in a season.
Lori
Absolutely.
Wills, Lou Brock, like, it's just,
No doubt.
Poppy's right.
Dr. Midnight in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, guys. Hope you guys are having a good evening. I just want to say, when you guys do talk about baseball, I can sense a lot of sincerity, and there's a lot of it's very genuine. So on behalf of all the Odd Couple fans, thanks for talking about baseball and just making it sound sincere for all of us there.
You know what, Dr. Midnight?
We love baseball, brother.
We talk more baseball than any other national show in the country.
I think we do.
Period.
I really do. I think we do. Yep.
And you guys, it's not an afterthought. You guys care about us, so it really means a lot for us fans over here. But to get to your question, I completely agree with Big Papi. Baseball has become too predictable. When someone comes to bat, you pretty much know they're either going to get a home run or they're going to get a strikeout. And Rob, you hit it on the head with regards to shift. The shift has taken away a lot from baseball. Because players right now, I don't know what they're teaching. Baseball is supposed to, like with any sort of sport, any sort of skill, you're supposed to evolve with the times. Defenses have evolved by implementing the shifts. Why haven't they? Why aren't they teaching the young players in the minor leagues how to hit against the shift?
Yeah, to hit the other way, right?
They're teaching them to hit homers, launch angle, all that. You know, I mean, really.
No,
you're right. He is right.
He's making a point. No doubt about it. Chris, if the left side of your left-handed batter and everybody's pulled over on the right side, it's wide open. All you got to do is make contact, dribble the ball at third base, right?
Choke up and
yes,
get
you got a double.
Yep.
And then they would stop doing it. But that shift is drives me crazy. Just, it ain't right.